Alright, welcome to Jason's Sports Show. This is Newsflash edition because one of the most controversial plays in the game has just occurred. Let's start off by saying this. Seahawks, Packers, Monday Night Football. Pretty good game. Low scoring game, but a huge game probably right now. But the thing that made this game most different, but the biggest games right now, one of the biggest games in the NFL right now, this week, Russell Wilson passes 24 yards to Golden Tate for a touchdown. Now, seems easy. Time winding down. No problem. Except a guy by the name of Jennings had the ball, really. He had the ball in his hand. The ball was already in his hand. He already grabbed it from the top. It looked like he had gotten it. It was an interception. But that didn't seem like he caught it. Now, I have a guy right now by the name of Cameron, aka Speedy. Are you there, Cameron?
Yes, I'm listening to Mike McCarthy's press conference, and he is absolutely in disgust. He says this is the worst game, or actually he said this is the craziest game I've ever been a part of, quote unquote. I definitely agree with that. Controversial call, craziest weekend I've ever seen in the NFL. And mainly due to these replacement refs. I am downright shocked that, look, even though technically by that rule, the Seahawks got that touchdown. I know many disagree, but I've heard that there's a special type of ruling out there. Yet, I still don't think that the Seahawks should have been awarded a pass interference. The play before that, it really helped them get an opportunity to take a shot at the end zone. And to me, I think, yeah, you can say the Packers got robbed. And I think I'm going to be one of those many people who believe that. Yet, hey, Seahawks kept it close, kept it competitive, grinded it out, used their defense. Their pass rush was amazing. Chris Clemens was all over the place. And and the Seahawks put in the refs' hands, and the refs, guess what? Awarded the Seahawks with a huge victory at CenturyLink Field today. So I'm really shocked by this whole entire scenario.
Well, here's my take on it. You can't just look at it from a sports fan of view. You have to take it from a mental point of view. You saw a lot of calls going towards the Seahawks, going towards the Packers. There was a series of calls where there was at least a penalty for at least 4 straight plays. This call was the not payback, but it was it's where the tide shifted, and when it going back and forth, it finally landed on the Seahawks, and they got lucky this time. Now, we saw this similar to the the Titans Lions game back on Sunday, where the Lions threw up a pass, but that was a fair one. Did you see that one?
Excuse me, did you say the Titans won?
The Titans, where the Lions threw a pass, it deflected, caught it, touchdown.
Yes, yeah. I saw that. Unbelievable. I thought that play was a true Hail Mary. Crazy as it was definitely not as controversial as this one. And to me, overall, in this whole entire week, we could put a lot of blame on the refs, but overall, even with the Titans Lions game, where the Titans winning that one, and the Lions coming back with Sean Hill. It was overall not crazy, but a crazy week. Excuse me. And I just overall, I think that there's been so much chaos, and partially it's got to be the refs. They've got to be able to control the chaos onto the field. It seems like they lose their cool and they lose sense of order, and it showed today, it showed yesterday, and it's been showing through this entire year. And I don't know about you, Jason, but I think you would agree with this, that if these refs don't come back by near playoff time, I think people might some coaches or players might lose their jobs, and some teams might not make the playoffs, or some teams might not have an opportunity for the Super Bowl this year. If these refs if these replacement refs stay.
Well, I feel, if you have more time, I think we have time to talk about this. Is what I feel is that crowd in Seattle is very influential, being one of the loudest crowds, and any person who did not go through high school and college as the popular kid is maybe affected by this little thing called peer pressure. You have about 70, not 70, it's like 62,000, 67,000 fans yelling, and you're getting nervous. You're a ref, though. You're not supposed to get influenced by this, but hey, man, you want to hear those cheers from the crowd, and it's pretty too close to call. There's a lot of rules. I'm pretty sure a lot of NFL rule buffs are going into the rule books. Article 5.1, Section 3, Line 6 says this. It's really one of those kind of things, but this is a crazy game, and I haven't been this shocked since June of this year when Manny Pacquiao lost to Tim Bradley. This is one of the biggest shockers in sports I've seen in a while.
You know what? Actually, when you said influencing refs, I think I agree with you, because let me bring you back to an instance. I think it was Week 16 of the 2003 season, or I'm not particularly sure, but it was an important game for the Cleveland Browns, and if they don't win this football game, they don't make the playoffs. So, controversial call at the end, third down, Cleveland, or I believe fourth down, it was Cleveland. I forgot the receiver, makes the grab, comes down with it, seems to be a catch, but refs overturn it. Jacksonville gets the ball. All of a sudden, fans are throwing beer bottles at the refs. Coaches are getting crowned. Chaos ensued. Fumes all over the place. I mean, people were fuming. I agree. Yes, there's a huge influence. But, I mean, when you look at this, though, the replacement refs, I mean, refs in general are the mediators. You're right. They're not supposed to be influenced, but they've been influenced out this whole entire season. You look at the regular, normal refs who are typically reffing these games, normally like the Mike Careys and the Ed Hockley's and the Walt Colemans, they're not making these mistakes. They have the integrity to do their job and just worry about the calls and not getting influenced. And this is what happens when you have inexperienced refs who have not received the proper training. It showed today, and I just hope that if a team loses, I hope no one's job gets lost, no coach or no player, because of a controversial call. I just pray, because I would never want to see someone's job being lost for a terrible call. And I think most of America would agree with that.
How do you see this affecting the Packers right now? They are 1-2. They have fallen from their former glory, and this could be the game that could set them off into an 8-8 season potentially. Where does this leave them?
I honestly think that the Green Bay Packers are... They've got some huge offensive line issues that they really need to resolve quickly. And I think, well, it's shown here in Seattle, and it's shown against San Francisco. I just think that overall in their division and this NFC, where they've got some great pass rushers, they're going to really struggle. I don't know about 8-8, but I think they're going to sneak into the playoffs. I I just cannot understand how this team that was 15-1 last year, all of a sudden, and they got Jeff Saturday, and I know they've had a little bit of changes here and there, how their offensive line let up. And I know the Seahawks have great talent pass rushing wise,
Yeah.
but it just seemed egregious that they couldn't incorporate screens. They didn't really incorporate Randall Cobb as much as I thought they were going to out of the backfield. It didn't look like Packers football spraying around, dumping it off in the short passing game. And eventually it caught up to them. It hurt them in the end because the Seahawks kept this close, as again, put it in the refs' hands, and the refs were miracle workers today and gave the Seahawks a gift on Monday night. And sadly for the Packers, 6,000 miles back home is going to be a very, very big sour taste in their mouth. I can guarantee you that.
That leads me to the next topic. Talking about the NFC North, talking about another team that could potentially be a real team, the Vikings. Did you see that game yesterday where they upset the 49ers?
Yes, I saw that, and honestly, I actually think it was a bad San Francisco day, and I know Minnesota really used the running game, and Peterson and Christian Ponder didn't have any turnovers, and he was surveying the field going, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4 checks, and if he couldn't find it, he'd run out of bounds or run for a first down. We saw him run for a touchdown, which was even really, really great. To me, I still think this Vikings team has a lot to improve. It was one great week. I think in the future we could see this Vikings team play like that. I don't know if they can roll with that type of playing style consistently. But let me tell you this. If Christian Ponder can reduce on turnovers and the Vikings can really start their pass rush and Adrian Peterson turns back to the Adrian Peterson of old, maybe they can make it very competitive, but I don't see this as a playoff team. I still think San Francisco's okay, and I just think overall, Week 3 of the 2012-2013 season is going to be the craziest week out of all, and I think it's one of the craziest weeks I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Well, speaking about San Francisco, the Seahawks, there's a little team by the name of the Arizona Cardinals who are 3-0, and they did not just beat the Eagles; they just took them out. Are the Cardinals for real?
I actually saw the Patriots Cardinals game in New England, and I have to tell you this: watching them up front, I think they could be a wild card team, but I don't think they're for real. I don't see this team as a Super Bowl team because New England imploded that day, Philly imploded yesterday, and when the Seahawks faced the Cardinals, that one was a close matchup too, and the Seahawks imploded in that one as well. Pete Carroll, by the way, he ran out the clock for absolutely no reason. We're right at the 5-yard line instead of going for an end zone, having more opportunities, which absolutely befuddled me. And I still don't know why Pete Carroll did that to this day. But when I saw this, I feel like Arizona has a great defense. They have great athletes defensively, especially in their secondary with Kerry Rhodes, Adrian Wilson. But I don't think that these guys have enough offensive firepower to face the elite quarterbacks that they're going to face. I don't think they have enough offense against San Francisco. I just don't think this team is going to win a Super Bowl. I don't think this team's going to go to the NFC Championship. But I see this maybe as a wild card team if they limit their turnovers and they capitalize on opportunities. But I still think this team still has a lot of improvement offensively.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about the Saints falling from glory, 0-2 at home, and they lose to anybody. One of the teams that I am very critical about, the Chiefs. How how are the Saints managing to lose these games?